Hello guys, what's up everyone? I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a very nice day and a very good weekend if you're watching us from the TV, of course. So I welcome you to the Standpoint. As usual, it's me Edna, but I'm never alone, of course. I'm always with my co-host Patrick. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine. How about you?
I'm fine. Seems like you're not doing very well. What's wrong?
I'm just fine. I'm just okay. Only, this life is so tiresome, though awesome. Sometimes, we are facing different challenges.
So you're kind of tired.
Yeah,
that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, but you're okay apart from that?
Yeah, sure. I'm okay. I'm great.
Yes. And we are having a guest today. Well, this is not his first time, but he can as well introduce himself. Hello.
Hello.
You're doing well?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Yes?
Yes, my name is Blaise NTAHOMVUKIYE. As you said, it's not my first time and it's always a pleasure to be invited on the platform.
Yeah, it's also a great pleasure for us to
The
be
privilege. Let me say it again.
All right, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
What are you trying to say? That I'm not honored to have him anyways.
It's okay.
Welcome to the Standpoint, right?
Thank you.
Yes, so what is it we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about challenges that face the Burundian higher education. How is it perceived? How is it going nowadays? Patrick, that's what you're going to talk about today.
Oh.
If I actually ask you, if you look at it just in general, if you may compare maybe with other countries in East Africa, how is the higher education, the Burundian higher education doing?
Well, I must admit it. First of all, it's a very tough question because, if you try to compare our education with the other education that we are seeing, I've never been, many countries, and I haven't yet, implemented my work over there. But what I can...
But you've read somewhere,
Yeah, I read, but in order to be sure about something, you got to live that.
To live there, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, I must say that, our higher education is still facing some challenges. Yes, because if we try to see the first sign that shows that it's really challenging is that you see a high rate of unemployment. You see, so we may think, what are the causes, what are the reasons behind the unemployment? It shows straight that, right away that there is some flaws into it.
So should we say that the cause of unemployment is kind of related to our education system? I don't think so.
Absolutely. That's what I think. Maybe you're going to disagree
I think so.
with what I'm saying, but you bring also your own opinion or argument.
Yeah, fine.
But what I'm trying to say is because where education is strong, then it means even you see it, the outcome in the economy. You see, people getting a lot of job, opportunities will be also higher because people who are well, educated, who have something to share, they also have to contribute for their nation. As the other president of the USA, I don't remember his name. His name is, I don't remember, it was Lincoln. He said, don't ask what your country can do for you, but ask yourself what you can do for your country.
Yeah.
What do I mean by here? So that's why you see even, the government tried to implement, to introduce or to initiate the fundamental school. Because we cannot only talk about the higher education, leaving aside the primary and secondary education.
Yeah,
because
out the foundation.
Yeah, the foundation. That's why you see, now the government is trying its best to, to produce, it's a kind of nursery of entrepreneurs. People will be able to create jobs. People will be able to hire others. So it's even the economy of the country benefit out of it. That's why, when I try to see, our higher education, I can't deny it's really facing a lot of trouble.
We are still kind of far.
yeah, we are still kind of for, but not that much for, because there's so many. Let me tell you some of the challenges that we're facing.
Before we talk about the challenges, I wanna hear Blaise what he thinks about our higher education. Like, how is it going, according to you?
Well, thank you so much. Before I actually answer to the question, I have to mention or to state the statement of Nelson Mandela, who said that education is a powerful weapon we can use to change nations. So education is something very important in human life, for the development of our societies or countries. So now the state of our higher education, this is something which is not easy to actually tell with specific statistics, because first of all, our country is one of the developing countries. We are trying to find ourselves, to fight so that we can reach somewhere in different sectors. I happen to study in Kenya, and to compare my country and the other country of Kenya in terms of economy, in terms of education, there is a big difference, and this is due to where we are. So this actually can allow me to say that I cannot say we are still lagging behind, because we still have our positive side and our negative side. Most of the time you will hear Burundians who got the opportunity to go and study abroad, they will always say we used to be the first. But now the question we should actually ask ourselves, why are we always the first in the educational system of abroad and fail to implement what we studied in our country? So now this is due to the system, how we were raised, especially in the former time, in the former educational system, whereby a teacher was like, give my note during the exam. You have to drink everything, and in the exam you have to copy paste. You have to give exactly what you were given, and this allows us now, when we go to study abroad, we don't have any problem to swallow 100 papers or syllabus, because we are good at that. But this is a good quality, by the way, though it has its negative side. The negative side of it is that you find at the end of the day, we are not practical.
So what's the positive side of that? If you can't think by yourself, just read a sentence and understand in your way, deduct something from that sentence. I don't see any positive side of it. I think it's actually
no wonder it depends upon the field of studies, because there are some field of studies like history, like whereby we actually have to remember what we have been taught. But also in the modern life, the century we are in, I don't think this system has that much as a positive side, of course, as you said. But of course, it helps Burundians who go abroad to accumulate good marks.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
And finish the first true. Upper classes.
Yeah, that's really true.
And sometimes I also think, like taking by heart, memorizing all those formulas, mathematics formulas, you apply them. So the only problem that we have, the problem is not about memorizing. The problem is that we stay there. We just only memorize, and we don't want to apply what we memorized. Like, we don't want to take something out from what we don't want to think more.
So he talked about something like the outcome. The outcome shows how our educational system, is going on. He talked about unemployment. Do you really think that this rate of unemployment is kind of related to our education, especially to higher education, since
Yes, I actually agree with what Patrick has said, because since, of course, we are talking about higher learning education, this is very important, because we are talking about education on the other level, okay? And in the history of education, we will find that people who have discovered great things, or maybe great ideas, innovative ideas were discovered at different educational institutions. I can give some examples like Google. Google was discovered by two students at Stanford University. We have this X-ray machine that we use in medicine. It was discovered by students. So an educational institution is actually for developed countries considered to be a place whereby problems, challenges, obstacles for the development, this is the last actually intervention. So that's why now, if we can talk about innovation, if you can talk about these new ideas, there we can also touch the point of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, sure. We must admit, as I said before, it's a good thing that the government brought. But still, remember, I don't remember, it was like in June, there was like this big assembly of different people who partake in the education and the system of our education. And that's among the recommendations that they gave, they said they want to return on the former system, because they are saying today they see there are no benefits, there are no many gains from this system that we are seeing today. They are saying now we are seeing a lot of graduates who are not really, competent, or are not competitive, or don't have enough skills on the market. So, saying that we're gonna go back to the ancient system, you see that even the system is not well recognized. It's not seen as something very, very crucial, very beneficial to the public. But we have to say that our education is still having a lot of challenges.
Yeah, that's it's true.
It's true. Like, it's not only about, for me, I was seeing that it was good to keep that system. Only the way it is being done, that's what they have to change. Like, we have to put enough, teachers who are well educated, because we see sometimes our teachers, they are not really professionals. Sometimes teachers don't have themselves enough skills to share with their students.
They have to be well trained before, teaching the students. Well,
okay,
I wanted to come back to our today's topic, the challenges of Burundian higher learning education. Yes, you go there, right?
So that's one challenge I was telling you, and there's so many challenges. Now I'm just talking about high school, secondary school.
Yes, but let's go to the higher education.
So for the higher education, we have to see the living conditions of the professors. Their living conditions don't allow them to stay in the country sometimes. We see a big number of them going outside of the country to stay there. That's what we call brain drain. They don't stay because they say the government is not recognizing our brains. How can I say that? And
our capacity, like their capacity.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Again, sometimes you find even the curricula are not well designed. You see, sometimes you see they are teaching somebody something, whereas they want him to be something else. The profile that you're looking for at the end of the day is not, related. It's not in alignment with the teachings that he's acquiring today. You see, for example, you are learning mechanics, and you find there is a course of chemistry inside. You see, it's an example, by the way. Then I think the curricula also, there are a lot of things to do in education. Like, we are still so far to the point that we need to even to bring about a lot of change. I mean, bring some other courses, bring some other faculties. I mean, we have to, I mean, you know, there is now like that national plan for development. Maybe we can, I mean, base ourselves on that and see some specific department or faculties that we need to bring today.
Yes, I think challenges are many, starting from the definition of education itself, which has been misunderstood, because most of the time we go to school expecting when we earn our degrees, we shall actually grab jobs opportunities here and there, and because this definition has been there for a long time, and you find that we actually miss the point or the real definition of why we should be at school. We are at school, or we go to school to accumulate knowledge, to be equipped so that we can be a valuable asset in our society. So when we don't have that mindset, and we believe that we go to school so that at the end of the day I can grab a master's degree or a bachelor degree to be employed somewhere, your focus will be the degree. That's why for me, I'm a lecturer in education. We can see so many students teaching, and they are mature enough to know why they are there, but because the misdefined definition of education they have, they don't care about the knowledge they can accumulate at the end of the course. Their target is that they can finish the program and be awarded of a bachelor or a master degree. It's a challenge. It starts with the motivation behind. And the second challenge, as Patrick said, the motivation that lecturers or teachers gain. Because if I know I'm intelligent enough and I see I can grab some other opportunities aside, I cannot go into education when it is not motivating me, you see. So that's why in developed countries you'll find teachers are highly paid.
Yes,
they are highly paid because they play a very significant role for the development of the nation. They are the ones that train future leaders. They are the ones that impart these values into them. They are the ones that shape their personality, the persons they will become tomorrow, where they will be in the places of governance. Now, when they are not well motivated, you understand that even the values that they will impart into these students will not be valuable. That's why I believe the way the government, especially I mentioned in developing countries, including my country, Burundi, we should try to see how we motivate these teachers. These teachers trained presidents. These teachers trained leaders, decision makers. And what decision makers have become today is because of the values that they have been imparted by these teachers. So teachers are considered, or should be considered, as a starting point of the development of the nation.
So what can we do actually to bring the solution? As the young people, we are the ones who have to bring solution to all those problems, issues the country is facing these days. But now that we are talking about education, especially higher education, and I didn't actually talk about something. Sometimes, I don't know if you've heard about it also, sometimes when you got your certificate from a random Burundian university, and you go maybe want to do your masters in US or Canada or in Europe, sometimes they don't accept your certificate. You have to redo, or maybe to do a training for maybe 1 or 2 years before you have access to masters. Why is that? Is it one of also the challenges that the higher education is facing, the Burundian higher education is facing these days?
Well, it's of course one of the challenges that our higher education is facing, because when you think that you have done your university or your college, and you got your bachelor degree, and you go somewhere, maybe in the UK, maybe in the US, and they ask you to redo your bachelor degree, your bachelor, and you just do it again, or you have to be trained again. It means you are losing your time. You see, it's time that
it's a waste of time.
So it's a challenge. But fortunately, there are some programs that don't have to ask you to do that. Like I don't know whether like, for example, achieving programs, you can finish your higher education here, your university, and you go straight to your master degree. There's some other, we cannot, take that into general, but we heard about it.
Yeah, we heard about it.
We heard about it, and it's so challenging. I think that's why we have to, as Blaise was saying, we ought to review our educational system from scratch. From kindergarten, from primary school, up to the university, up to our higher education. That's whereby even, the whole world will recognize our education, and that's up to each and everybody. We sometimes always put our finger on our decision, but they are the first one, of course, to do that. They're the first one to do that. But also, there's obstacles. We have also the duty to ask for it, because we are citizens. So we have to hold them accountable for that. That's why we are even talking about it today.
Yeah.
So for us then to be able to not be asked about redoing or being retrained, I think we have to establish what we've been talking about. Living conditions of our lecturers, of our teachers, but what I will focus much on is the content, is the curricula. We have to be more serious about it. Because you cannot tell me, as you're saying, that you're learning French Revolution, whereas you are Burundian. What are you going to use that for?
We ain't going to use it at all.
At all. Sometimes you see you are learning geography, and they are teaching you a mountain from, I don't know where, in Europe. So that's the legacy from colonialism, but we have to shift the paradigm. We have to leave that. And
although it's not bad to, it's one of the ways to accumulate some knowledge. It's not bad.
No, we better read that in the books. But for the education, it has to be so reduced. So you use it at the end of the day. Because I remember last time we were discussing with other young people, and some people, you see there's even you heard some people are, doubting young people not to, you think, you think you're gonna eat your diplomas? You think you're gonna, I'm not, advocating for not going to school, but when you go to school, you have to have a vision. Know what you will be in your future. Know what you're gonna use for your future. Because sometimes you find you are learning something and you are not even using that. You don't apply what you learned. So that's a waste of time. You see, that's why I think that each and every young people now following the education, he has to put his mind what is going to become in the future. So as he put much strength, he put much focus, concentration on the content that he's acquiring. If he sees something is not, helping him at any cost, in any way, so he better not put much strength on that. So as he know how to orient his career, his future, because it's so sad to see somebody getting a lot of degrees, but you know, finishing without even having a good life, or just being able
just
to
a nice job.
Yeah,
I mean,
not only a nice job, because now we are saying we are shifting the paradigm, being to create. Now we are going to hire people, not so like not everybody is called, of course, to hire to be an entrepreneur.
Yes,
that's now what I mean.
That's another whole
case. Okay, anyway.
Yes, please.
Yes, well, you actually mentioned something very important. Why when we submit our applications in those developed countries, sometimes we are asked for certain bridging courses, or this depends upon how one country value their education. And this is so sad, in fact, to see most of developing countries, they know their weakness actually. You will see when you go to apply somewhere for a job, you studied in Burundi and the other one studied outside of the country. The one who will mostly
be considered
will be the one who studied abroad.
Of course.
You see, so this is the reality, which is very sad. This means that we don't value our education, and we are aware of it, because these people that are to hires, they are the decision makers. They have a certain influence in the sector of education, because you cannot hire anyone. You have to be selective. So they better select those who studied outside. It's so sad. This is something which should be changed actually. To actually, if I have identified that our educational system has some weaknesses, now as a private sector, what are we doing to strengthen our educational system? Instead of believing the education from outside is better than ours, let us invest in our educational system. If we are to, like some companies are to go together and buy labs for our universities, either in chemistry, either in what, so that they can train future laborers, let them do that. You see, so it depends about how we value. In the American system, they always have this saying that when you from outside America, forget about everything, we train. You see, we train you. In other words, we consider you know nothing, and we train you about our educational system. That's actually the reality. Though it's not the system actually we are in, it's because they believe in their educational system. Yeah. They believe that they are better than we are. Yes.
And I think they do that, okay, I wouldn't say it's only Burundi. I'm sure even other countries from Africa, they also face those kind of challenges when there are people who are applying for jobs abroad, or even applying for further studies abroad. They usually face those kind of challenges. But that actually shows that, you know, they believe in their educational system more than they believe in any other. And that's really great. We actually do need that.
Yeah, sure.
And that will be, you know, the foundation of our higher education, and even the educational system in its whole. Like it's developmental. Yeah. You wanted to say something?
Just is saying we need to invest in that. Like if you try to see the budget that is allocated to our educational system today, I do believe that we be disappointed.
Yeah.
That's why we need to invest in that. They're saying like having laboratories, like labs, or you know, places where
you remember during the colonial time. Our parents or grandparents used to say, when I was still at a test or my final year, I could hear a call from a certain company telling me that next year when I graduate, they will recruit me. We no longer see that.
Oh, I didn't
anymore.
know that was
Yes,
there.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's really great.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are still kind of far, but we're getting there.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
getting there. So Blaise, I thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, it was also a pleasure. Thank you as well, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been so amazing.
Yeah, it was really amazing. And thank you to all of you guys who are watching us. I hope you got something from this. So stay tuned for the next one. Bye-bye.